Good afternoon. Welcome to Book Chats with Mr. Mary once again. So today I'm going to talk to you about a few of the titles that are going to be available at the book fair at the end of October. First one is called Rated. And Rated takes place in kind of a near future dystopian society where your life is dictated by your rating. The higher your rating, the more elite your life can be with better housing, better healthcare, etc. If you have low ratings, that might mean homelessness or a lack of a job or problems with just about everything. So there are 6 students that are going to Maplethorpe, an elite school where low ratings might get you kicked out of school. And as a student, your ratings are updated constantly and everyone can see them. Your grades, your interactions with teachers, other interactions with students. Basically anything you do can raise or lower your rating. But one day, a graffiti message is painted on the wall, and it says that the ratings don't matter, that they're not real. And the 6 students begin finding cryptic messages, cryptic notes in their lockers. And as the school and society seems determined to cover up the messages, there appears to be something bigger going on, and the teens will have to work together to figure it out. The next book is going to be a popular one, Guts. So like a lot of her books, Raina Telgemeier, she always writes books about her own kind of experiences growing up. And this one is just the same, about her fears and anxiety of being sick. So it starts with her and her mom getting food poisoning and puking their guts out. And even though they get better, Raina develops massive anxiety about stomach problems, about puking, all the messy bodily functions that go along with being sick. And she's terrified that this is her new normal, that'll, being sick's going to turn her into this outcast, that nobody's going to want to hang out with her and come to her house and be her friend. And she's afraid nothing will ever be normal again, and she could be sick at any moment. She's afraid to eat certain foods. She's afraid of what could happen if she gets sick again. Like all of her other books, it's funny, but you feel for Raina and you feel this empathy toward her. So this one will be another winner, I'm sure. Wildfire is the next book. If you like adventure and action, this is about a kid named Sam who is at summer camp. And they're out kind of in the middle of the forest. There's a drought going on and a fire starts and they're evacuating the summer camp. But as they're evacuating, Sam realizes that he forgot his phone back at the cabin. So he runs back to the cabin, and as he does that, as he's on his way, this huge flash of heat blasts him as pine trees explode, and now a wall of fire separates Sam from the bus. And there's only one thing to do: run. Run for your life, run or die. So he is running. He's trying to remember the survival techniques that his late dad tried to teach him. And when he's running, when he least expects it, he encounters an older girl who is also lost. And they have to kind of team up together and form this bond to try to survive, to get out of this wildfire. If you like scary books, I have not read this one, but it looks kind of intriguing. So Olivia is pretty curious about the new people that moved into the old Alcott place, because the last family that lived there moved out in the dead of the night, and the new family, the Donahues, have no idea why. So Olivia becomes friends with Janie Donahue, and so she's there at the house when the first of the letters arrive. And the first letter says, "I am the sentry of Glennon Heights. Long ago I claimed 16 Alcott places levy for my guardianship. The walls will not tolerate your trespass. The ceilings will bleed and the windows will shatter. If you do not cease your intrusion, the rooms will soon smell of corpses." So, not a real happy note. So they have to figure out, who is this sentry? Why does this sentry want the Donahues out of the house badly enough to kill? So as they explore the house, they find a number of other secrets. And as they explore their town, they find a hidden history that the sentry wants to remain hidden forever. You can lock the doors, you can close the windows, but you can't keep the sentry out. And then the last one I'm going to talk about today is called Don't Tell the Nazis, another historical fiction book. So the year is 1941, and Kristya lives in a small Ukrainian village when the Soviets occupied Ukraine. And so when the Nazis from Germany march into town to free them from the Soviets, many of Kristya's neighbors welcome the troops with celebrations, hoping that now they're going to have a better life. But conditions don't improve as expected. Kristya's friend Dolik and the other Jewish people in town warn that their new occupiers may only bring darker days. And the worst begins to happen when the Nazis start blaming the Jewish people for murders they didn't commit and forcing Jewish people into ghettos. And Kristya wants to help Dolik and his family, but what they really need is a place to hide. So will she be brave enough to hide them, to protect the friends and neighbors? You'll have to read to find out. So again, all of these books, they're going to be available at the book fair at the end of October. Until then, happy reading. Come visit me down in the library.